As always, guys, this is just for entertainment purposes only. This is not financial advice. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So I wanted to show a little bit about my latest research. So I was curious on what countries in the world have, or what companies in the world have plans to create cultivated meat facilities, be it from fish, meat, or dairy in the world. Of course, there is about 80 companies out there, and not all have announced plans. But I would like to show all of these on the map. And we're seeing, for example, in the US, seems to be located in the East Coast. There is a few in Europe, a few in the Middle East, and then in Asia, it seems to be located mostly in Singapore. These locations are not that surprising. San Francisco, of course, is known for a lot of ventured capital. Europe, it was a bit the cradle of the cultivated meat. And then you have the Middle East, and Singapore have actually been approving already cultivated meat. So I'll get deeper onto each one of them. Let's start with what we have in the United States. So we have here at the East Coast, starting with Blue Nalu. Blue Nalu, also in the agronomics portfolio, they are going to build a pilot plant. Actually, they already built it, I think, that can produce up to 11 tons of bluefin tuna and mahi-mahi per year. I'm really excited about this because bluefin tuna is incredibly expensive. It costs about $85 a pound in Japan, and Blue Nalu stated they'll be able to make it for $25 a pound. So that's exciting. They also are planning to have a larger facility where they will start building at 2025, so maybe it will be complete by 2026, and that could produce up to 9,000 tons per year. So it's actually one of the most exciting out there. And then you have Finless Foods, also based in the US. So they plan to build a pilot plant to start producing sashimi. Now, sashimi, it is one of my favorite recipes or food when it comes to sushi. So I really love that. I always order that, especially sashimi Suzuki. So very nice. And then there's a few actually that are located in San Francisco. So you have Wild Type, also excited about that because they're going to start producing salmon. And their pilot plant is also one of the larger ones, can produce 90 tons per year. You have Upside Foods, that has also been in the news a lot recently. Their pilot plant finished in November, can produce 25 tons a year, and they can expand it up to 200 tons. They plan to produce chicken there. And then you have New Age Meats, also plan to have a pilot plant by 2022 that will produce pork. But some of these companies, they haven't really revealed yet how much they're going to produce, or some say the liter, and that's a little bit hard for me to make a conversion, like if it's in tons, kilos, pounds. That's more clear because I know like the average person in the world eats around 50 kilos per year, but I have no idea how much liters that they would produce. Now in Europe, we should look here as well, because in Netherlands seems to be very popular. You have Mosa Meat, who's working on burgers, who's going to build a pilot plant in the Netherlands. And also Meatable is going to build a pilot plant in the Netherlands, Delft. And then you have also one in Belgium. You actually have a few startups in Belgium, but only Piece of Meat, which is a part of Meatech 3D, has announced that they will start on a pilot plant in Belgium. You also have a few larger ones. Well, you have Formo. Formo has actually raised the most money in Europe so far, so they are going to produce dairy. I'm very excited about Formo because the approval process is less cumbersome for dairy, because yeah, it's actually a known process. So cheese is already made by microbes, so they're really just using the same process as is being used right now, just of course more advanced. And they might have a pilot plan by 2022, not confirmed, but I'm actually much more excited on the fact that they stated that they would like to produce 10% of the dairy in Europe every year. No, by 2030. So yeah, I'm very, very excited about that one. Then you have GBS, which you bought biotech foods. They're planning to build the biggest factory in Europe that can produce 1,000 tons a year, burgers, steaks, sausages, meatballs, everything. So yeah, really great, 1,000 tons a year. And then you have Alepp Farms. So also, yeah, one of the more famous ones. Plan to have a pilot facility by 2022. And then the second one, Future Meat Technologies. They would like to have a pilot facility that can produce 182 tons per year chicken. So that's an estimate from my side. I did some kind of a conversion. And actually, the very recent news showed that they plan to build this pilot plant, probably not in Israel, but in the US, or they're at least planning to build a facility in the US as well. Maybe they build one in Israel and in the US, so it's not clear to me. But they actually have they pretty much reached meat parity price. Well, depending on what country you live in, actually, but they said they could produce at about $8 a pound or a little less. In some countries, that means there is parity with meat, but not yet in all countries. And then we have eJust. They are going to build a pilot facility in Qatar. Qatar hasn't approved cultivated meat yet, but they said they definitely would allow export, and they're on the verge of approving it as well. And then the last one, Singapore. Also, two companies here have caught my eye. So you have Farm Meat, who's going to produce sea cucumber and fish maw. To be honest, I don't know what that is. Well, I didn't know. I never had it. I had to Google it. I have no idea if I ate it before, but it must be like something that's popular in Asia. The second one, I'm personally very excited on this one, Sheop Meat. Really, really love this company, also part of the agronomics portfolio. They're going to start to produce shrimp, crab, and lobster in Singapore. So also planning a pilot plant, and I think Just Eat has a pilot plant here as well, but I haven't found anything yet how much they're producing per year. They have been selling a little bit here and there, so I'm guessing it's probably not more than 5 tons a year that they can produce there, but no idea. So let's see. So I have put all this down into an Excel. Again, keep in mind that a lot of companies have not announced their plans to produce, on how much they're going to produce, or even are producing and are not revealing it. But the one that we know about, I can put in Excel. So I made 3 sheets, meat, fish, and cheese. And when we look, here, Future Meat Technologies. Okay, I don't know if they will actually start to produce 182 tons already in 2022. But that's the idea. That's the idea where the factory is going. And I think the number by 2024, I think that's a realistic number. I actually think it will be, of course, higher as we see more companies announcing their plans and being more specific. And then when we look at how many people that can be fed, you can see the one person is eating 46 kilos a year. So by 2025, we'll be able to feed about 30,000 people per day with the meat production. So that's not yet astronomically high, but again, I do think that a lot of companies will upscale their production a lot more than is currently announced. And also, we have to keep in mind, meat is one of the hardest to produce. So if we take a look at fish, the average person eats about 16 kilos per year, and there's less players on the market, but some of these players really have major plans. So we're looking at Blue Nalu, and by 2025, they want to start building a factory that can produce 9,000 tons per year. And then you have Wildtype, their current factory, I think it was already built this year in November, can produce 90 tons per year. I think it's reasonable to assume they will upscale this a lot more by 2026, maybe even more than Blue Nalu. So let's see. And then there's Finless Foods and Shiok Meats, especially Shiok Meat. I really like this company, so I'm very, very eager to see their plans for production. Also here, I looked at how many people can be fed, and we can see that by 2026, currently estimating that at least 500,000 people can be fed per day with fish, or will be able to get their daily fish consumption. And then with cheese, cheese is a whole other story, because there's a lot less plants known. Even though the go-to market is a lot easier for cheese, you don't really need to go through a cumbersome approval process. But we do have a few plants. So Formo, they're based in Berlin. They have announced that by 2030 they want to be able to feed 10% of the European population, with the dairy. So they want to be able to produce 10% of what the European population needs. So that would mean 1 million tons of cheese per year by 2030. So it's incredibly high, and means that we can that would be enough for 74 million people per day by 2030. And I think we'll probably see similar numbers for fish and meat appear in the end. But I think that just shows how rapid this industry is evolving, and I don't think we quite grasp yet of how fast we're going. And I think every year it's going to be, whoa, where are we now? This is going exponentially. So we'll see about that. And it's one of the reasons why I invest so much in cultured meats. So Agronomics and MeatTech 3D are currently the only ones, but we have IPO announced for Eatjust and Cult Food Science, which they usually, I would expect them to have an IPO soon, but neither of them seems to be in a rush. So we'll see how that goes. Guys, thank you all for watching. If you like my video, please like the video, subscribe to my channel, it really helps a lot. Thanks again for watching, and see you next time.